Hello, everybody, and welcome to your daily show known as PWME News, where LK, your boy, breaks down and analyzes the day's pro wrestling news. And oh, for God's sake, okay, so it's WWE's monthly, make that quarterly conference call. Okay, so when I was looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what, WWE's been absolutely atrocious. I hope they've absolutely fucked up. I hope the business is going absolutely atrociously. But then the part of me says, why do I want that? As a fan of professional wrestling, why do I want the business of pro wrestling to be doing badly? And I was sat there and I was sitting there for the past 3 hours, really upset with myself, thinking that I wanted the pay-per-view buys to be down, I wanted the network subscription count to be down, but it wasn't. And it was, but it wasn't. And I'm going to get down to that. But before I do, if I'm not my usual self, I'm absolutely battered, Judy, and ratted. My sleeping schedule is off the hook. It's absolutely insanity. I haven't slept properly in about 3 to 4 days. Last proper sleep was Sunday. I mean, listen to this, okay? Listen to this, okay? So Tuesday night, I did the overnight. Okay, so Wednesday morning at 7:30, 8 a.m. I went home. I went to sleep at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. I woke up at 5 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. I then did shows. I did the PWME News yesterday, and also the NXT review, which means I had to stay up, watch NXT, also watch Ring of Honor. I then went to work at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And then I didn't get back till about 1 p.m., 2 p.m. today. Or today, yesterday, however the fuck it is, it's 2:25 a.m. today as of right now, but I'm recording it as if it was yesterday. And I tell you what, I feel like absolute shit. But hopefully this podcast is what I need to boost me back in gear. I've got a cup of tea at the ready. So let's get down to breaking down the news when it pertains to professional wrestling. And here's a little funny thing, okay? So like I said earlier on in this show, there's a conference call. There was a big conference call, and obviously, as you all know, WWE is a publicly traded company, which means every quarter, there's 4 quarters in a year, every 3 months, they'll have a big conference call, a big meeting where all the shareholders can phone in and Vince answered, okay? So this cat called Eric Katz, cat called Katz, brilliant. Okay, so this is his question, he puts, and last question for Vince. WrestleMania, you guys have a lot of talent injured right now. I'm just kind of curious how you plug the holes in the roster to make it a stronger event. Thank you. Okay, so that's the question. So let me read this. Let me read that again. Last question for Vince. WrestleMania, you guys have a lot of talent injured right now. I'm just kind of curious how you plug the holes in the roster to make it a stronger event. Thank you. So that's from a paying owner, part owner of the company, part of the shareholder. Okay, here's Vince's reaction. Okay, this is what he puts. By being creative, we'll have an awesome WrestleMania, and it'll be very attractive to our audience, just as attractive as last year's. By being creative. That is a quote from Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who's the man behind booking of the past few editions of Raw. That personally cheered me up. That really cheered me up, and I just wanted to share that with you because it's absolute insanity. Jesus hates Christ on a popsicle stick. That made me crack up. Okay, so on to speaking of WrestleMania, what a great transcender. Here we go. So we have Undertaker's Mania opponent. Lots of people have been talking recently about Braun Strowman being the man or thing. I'm not going to call him a wrestler because I don't insult every great wrestler who's ever laced up a pair of boots. He's the guy who's meant to be having this match with Taker. And I've come on here in every single show and I've shot the idea down. I think it's an absolute embarrassment. It's a joke. You can't have a 50-year-old man in the Undertaker going up against a guy who's been in the business wrestling on the main roster for about 6 months. That's unsafe. It's not fair on Taker. And Taker needs to put someone over. It's his last Mania in Texas. Let's have him put someone. I wouldn't even mind a match against Cena. I may throw a flag on me. May go mad at me, but I personally wouldn't mind a match between Taker and Cena at WrestleMania. Got 2 iconic figures in the Dallas, Texas stadium in front of 100,000 people. What a moment! What a way for Taker to go! And the way Cena's going at the moment, I mean, he hasn't been on television for a while. I mean, his TV show's premiering very soon. I saw the date was coming up in a few months. I'm just very uninterested in that. I was going to report as news, but I don't care. And we've got quite a bit of news to get down through today, including some Lucha Underground, Titus O'Neil update, and obviously some quarter earnings when it pertains to WWE Network and the subscription, because I'm all about the business aspect of the wrestling business, which, lots of people don't like. I mean, I'm a fan of the TV ratings, the viewership figures, merchandise sale, network subscriptions, because that's how I look at it. I took business at sixth form, and I got my A-star A-levels in it because that's what I like. I'm fascinated. I'm very intrigued in business entrepreneurship. I'm very fascinated by that. Okay, anyway, back to the original point. I'm going off on fucking tangents left, right, and center here. Jesus fucking hates Christ on a popsicle stick. That's a line. I think I don't know where I heard that from. I think it might have been Austin's show like 3 years ago. So you could throw a hack on me. There you go. As a Taz show fucking thing. Jesus hates Christ. Jesus. So take his opponent. Braun Strowman, Not a fan. But the one that's been going around a lot recently is Taker and Kevin Owens. Okay, now I saw that and my eyes widened. You know, they may be baggier than a son bitch, but they widen because the possibility of Kevin Owens going over Taker, or even Taker beating Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens having that iconic match, that Mania moment against Taker, could be one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I come on here and I say, look, Kevin Owens is out of shape. I say this all the time, but I love the guy. He's one heck of a professional wrestler. And someone explained to me the other day, there's a difference between in-ring shape and being in shape. Like, you can be in ring shape, but not actually be in shape, because, you know, it's a lot of difference. And, you know, I'm trying to broaden my mind, and instead of just being an imbecilic sack of shit and just dissing the guy because of his gut. So I'm going to try and cut that out. I can't help it. It's just personal belief. But that's what's great about these shows, you know, opinions, different opinions. I believe that if you're a paid pro athlete, you should look like a paid pro athlete. But that's a different story for a different topic, for a different time, for a different damn show. So take it, Kevin Owens. But according to Dirty Dave Meltzer, whose parents I hate for giving birth to him, apparently Kevin Owens was really high on this, not literally high on it, but he was high on the idea. So he went to WWE creative, wherever he went, management, upper management, whatever the fuck you want to call it, so many different words, writers, staff, I don't care. He went up to them and said, look, I pitched Taker. And apparently they shot down the idea. The thing is, though, they shot down that idea, but it also said in the article from the Wrestling Observer for Dirty Dave Meltzer, that son of a bitch, that they're also shutting down the idea of the Braun Strowman gimmick. So as a shoot, what are they going for? Like, I'm kind of curious. Like, they're not going Kevin Owens. They're not going Braun Strowman. Like, they haven't got a lot of avenues to go down. There's only 1, 2, or 3 guys left on the card. I mean, I've been suggesting AJ Styles, but people in the comment don't seem to get it. Right, so as this is the PWME news, it means absolute jack shit. It's just me shooting the shit, and it's very enjoyable and entertaining. Make sure it's like a live Q&A gimmick. Put up whatever questions you want in the comments, and I'll fucking answer them. I did like this, okay? So imagine AJ Styles going over Taker. AJ leaves. He doesn't have to celebrate. He can just do his celebrating gimmick. Fuck off. Nice seeing you. Catch your ass down the line. See you tomorrow night on Raw. Taker can do a sit-up. He can get a standing ovation from the crowd. He can say thank you. Ride off into the sunset. Never see you again, Taker. Thank you for everything you've done for the WWE and the wrestling business in general, and character development as well. Because no one apart from Mark Calloway could play the Undertaker gimmick, and I tilt my cap to you, sir. Very good job. And the point I was trying to make is AJ will be so over. And people saying, look, he's 37 years old. Yes. Brock Lesnar beat Taker. He became a box office attraction. Now when Brock Lesnar loses, the guy he puts over will be a box office attraction. AJ Styles beats Taker. When AJ Styles puts someone else over, there'll be a box office traction. It's called creating new stars, ladies and gentlemen. It's called creating new stars to give you more money, to give you more opponents, to freshen up the main event scene, to sell more merchandise, to make money, because wrestling is a business and it's all about the money. Jesus Christ on a popsicle stick. I kind of don't get what that means. Jesus hates Christ on a popsicle stick. Is that like implying that Jesus is on the cross and they're calling that a popsicle stick? If so, I might cut that out from my repertoire of words that I use, but damn sure. But anyway, I'm going to see if we got any live comments. I saw we had one dislike before I went on the air because I took a while loading the show up. I do apologize about going live. It took me a while. I do apologize about that. We got some damn questions. Are you doing a SmackDown review today? That's from Raymond Stanley. No, I plan on basically today I'm going to do PWME news. Then I'm going to hit the rack because I'm so tired. My eyes are like fucking watery down like a fucking saggy sack of shit. Tomorrow, I've already watched Ring of Honor. So tomorrow, about 1 a.m. midnight UK time, you're going to get a Ring of Honor review, a PWME, scrap PWME news for tomorrow, okay? No PWME news tomorrow. It's going to be Ring of Honor, SmackDown, main event reviews for Friday. Saturday, you're going to get a PWME news, and also I'm going to check out the New Japan show, see how that took forward to, and Sunday, I'm not really sure, but we'll figure something out down that line. So yes, there will be a SmackDown review, but it will be tomorrow. I'm going to hook up Booms or Coco, see if one of them wants to join me. My boy LK working effing hard, damn right, always have, always will. Raymond Stanley, talk to me, Ray. It'll make you feel better. Raymond Stanley, but is it good to be a public traded company? It is and it isn't. Like, in a way, it's good because you're going to make more money because all those public traders are going to invest a lot of money and they're going to make money and you're going to make money from them. So in theory, it is good, but it then limits you to taking risks. Because if you want to take this huge risk, if you want to take this big ass risk, but 50% of the shareholders don't want you to take that risk, it could limit you from doing it. And I just think it's so fascinating to just sit back sometimes and just watch it unfold. Like half the stuff they do, if there wasn't a traded company, would we be in the position right now? But then would they be as rich? Would we have would we have had the network before? Because from what I've heard, Shane suggested this network idea years ago. But probably the reason why it took so long is because of the public traded company. But you can't do what you can't do. Does Vince book SmackDown because SmackDown's been better than Raw? From what I've heard, Road Dogg is the guy who books SmackDown. Don't take my word for it. That's just what I've heard. It's bullshit from the Twitter machine. But for what I've heard, Road Dogg's a dick on Twitter. He's an absolute sack of shit. Crazy J Ray puts last year. Hell, I hope this is WrestleMania's better than last year. I actually enjoyed WrestleMania. Obviously, I wasn't part of the KocoSports.net team back then and Personally.me team back then, but I enjoyed Mania. I did. I loved the Rollins cheesecake. If you haven't said this in a while, I loved Seth Rollins versus if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton match. Well, that was incredible. I loved the Rollins cash in. What else did I like? Good shout. Actually, I loved the IC title ladder match. Thought that was really good. I liked the main event of Lesnar and Reigns. I loved Seth Rollins cashing in. I liked H versus Sting as a spectacle and as a moment. So Mania wasn't that bad last year. And if you remember, the build-up was absolutely atrocious. So anyone thinks that Titus suspension affected any WWE policies? I'm not sure, but I'm going to touch on Titus O'Neil in a minute. But well, fuck it. That's a great transition there. Mohammed Faze. Is that FD? I call you FD, my friend. I think we'll go for FD. I think that's what you wanted me to call you. Anyway. So basically, the situation now is Titus pulled Vince because he wanted to let Stephanie go through because he's a gentleman. And also, WWE, all the fans telling all the social media world, the world buzzing that WWE is a racist company. It is. But, the fans telling that it's a racist company. It made New York Times that Vince McMahon's a racist, so that's not good publicity. So WWE on their website or some gimmicks that they put out there, they had it so that they told the jobbers and the imbecilic sacks of shit on the newspapers that they aren't actually a racist company when they just lied through their teeth. I should get a rule list. I should get a rules like rule number 6. I'm always right. The little gimmicks like that. Anyway, I do understand the policies. But in the end of the day, there's so many damn policies in the WWE, isn't there? Like, I'm not even joking around with you now. There must be at least, 30 policies for fucking, you can't lick your hand, you shall not take a shit whilst Undertaker is near the cafeteria because he doesn't like the smell, or a 30-day suspension. And then he goes on podcast and says that you need to grab that brass ring. Okay, Titus O'Neil was being a gentleman. I understand that because, but the thing is, people have told me, like if your boss was there and you pulled him to let a woman go through, you'd get fired. I don't know what job you are at, because at my job, if I pulled my boss to let a lady through, you go, what you doing, yeah? But what? Sorry, my boss is Polish, and his accent. He's got this one thing. Okay, this is completely off the record. I'm probably going to get 16,000 dislikes because I'm going off topic and not talking pressing. Okay, so at work we've got this boss called. I'm not going to give his name in case I signed a contract that allowed me not to say this shit. But anyway, I digress. It's the fucking show. What can they do about it? Fire me, I dare them. That's one line I use because Coco last night talked about that shit. At work, the way I see it is I've been at my work now. It's like a restaurant kind of gimmick. It's like fast food kind of restaurant. It's a really good little restaurant. Actually, I love working. I work with my friends. I absolutely adore everyone who works there. Actually, that's a lie. I like 50% of the people who work there. 50%. That's generous. I'm a generous man. I don't like certain people. Like certain people just grind my gears when they say they'll do something and don't. It just drives me insane, and lies, and people who think they're better than what they actually are. I can't stand that. Like, I'll put myself over like from time to time. Like, for instance, at work, I'll admit I'm good at my job. Like, for instance, the boss said, "Why don't want to be a manager?" If I became a manager, there'll be a lot less time to do this, a lot less time to watch and do what I love to do, and that's watch pro wrestling and talk about it on this great forum that the Coco's given me here. And I love doing that. And another reason why is that I could be a manager, or I could be that guy that you go to when you're in the shitter, everything's awful, you're in the shits, there's a queue to the door. I can be that guy to say, "Hey, look, sort this out." I come in and I smash the service. I love doing that. I absolutely adore that. Labor, you need to cut labor at work. I may sound like a dick, but I say, "Hey, look, if you want to save labor, send half those people home. I'll just do it by myself." Like, that way they get to go home, so they're happy. You know, my friends, hey, let me get home. I get to work by myself, pump a headphone in, smash that out. I can feel happy when I go home because I've done a good days of work. Oh, I digress. This is outrageous. I'm going to get in trouble for that. A racist fan rocks S4 when Vince McMahon watches a death match and says it looks dangerous, but I like it. Yeah, a death match wrestling is not for me. That's my opinion. But I could go on a death match rant, but should I save that for a different show as Stump the Idiot? No. You know what? You asked that question. I'll give you the answer. So thank you for joining me live anyway. So the answer I'm going to give you is I don't like deathmatch wrestling because I feel any old Tom, Dick, and Harry can do it. Like I could just smash myself through this window right now, and I'm a hardcore deathmatch worker. That's just my opinion. I'm not a fan of that. I never have been. I never will be. If it's a feud ender, like a huge feud ender, BJ Whitmer, Steve Corino, Ring of Honor is an example I'm going to use. That I would understand. It's a real personal feud ender. It's a slow burn. It's been going around for about a year now. That makes sense to me. I can respect that and understand that. But, you know, when companies like ZZW and ECW back in the day, they were just doing deathmatch after deathmatch after deathmatch. That's not for me. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not disrespecting the talent. I'm not disrespecting the fans of that genre. But for me personally, I just don't enjoy it. And if you do, good for you. I'm glad you enjoy it. But for me personally, I just don't enjoy it. I can't help that. It's the way I am. Can't help it. I do apologize. I'm a fan of one-on-one or maybe tag team every now and then. Just good pro wrestling done right. Oh, Jesus. One thing I can't stand, though, is the YouTube comment system. That really needs fixing. Ray Mustani, big match. John will be back. Yeah, I called him John Cena. I could get in trouble for that, didn't I? Racist, fan, rock S4, or hate it. Let me talk to my yes men. Ray Mistake, but why don't they book SmackDown like they did in Ruthless Aggression era? I think they do, because if you remember back in the Ruthless Aggression era, it was, you know, you had the Angles, the Benoits, the Edge, the Mysterio. My God, No Mercy 2002, what tag match? You had Brock Lesnar, you know, and, you know, that's 5 great workers. They booked it like a sports show. SmackDown, to me, you know, AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho was on tonight, so I haven't watched SmackDown, so no one give any spoilers. I'm going to watch that tomorrow. From what I've seen, what from the past few weeks, ever since I moved to USA, I think they've done a really good job of making it feel like a sports show. I think the commentator Mauro Ranelli, I can't remember the guy's name, but if loving that guy's wrong, I never want to be right. Period. End of story. It's a fact. I love that guy more than anything in the world, and one of the best commentators I've heard. It was so refreshing to hear his voice calling a WWE match. It was like it was destined to be there. It really was, and I'm a huge fan of that guy's work. I really am. So it's booked like a sports show. I like that. I like it because wrestling should be a sport. In the end of the day, they are fighting. It shouldn't be a soap opera because I'm torn because part of me loves the soap opera aspect because, you know, I love Lucha Underground. I really do love Lucha. Make sure you check out Lucha Underground review. Coco did one of them, and I can't seem to find the stream yet. Because when I got home from work, when I woke up at about 9, I went to look and I couldn't find it. I was very upset. So if anyone's got a link to the Lucha Underground, make sure you put it in the comments below, and then I'll delete it as soon as I've clicked on it because I don't want lots of people to obviously click it. And then if it gets copyright strike, don't get in trouble. Don't get anyone in trouble. It's not worth it. So, but yeah, I would really appreciate if someone sent me a link because all the sites I use .ch, I use entertainmentforyou.cc, and none of them have worked for Lucha Underground streams. Really upsetting. So yeah, in my opinion, I think they are kind of starting to book it like they did back in the Ruthless Aggression era. If Owens faces Taker, he won't win. That's from Rey Mysterio, but they should. It's not about, you know, he won't, he should. There's a huge difference there. If this type of situation getting worse with all this racist talk, WWE deserves it because they are racist dickheads, yes. And the thing is, you get these people and super defenders. You know, I don't like talking bad about fans, but it's kind of cringy watching them say that WWE aren't racist. You don't put your hands on the boss. Like, dude, I don't know what job you're working at, but I could, if a lady's walking, I'm going to move the boss to let the lady go through. It's called being a gentleman. It's called having morals. Vince wouldn't let his daughter through because he's such an egomaniac son of a bitch. And, you know, we on this show, we rip Vince a lot. And I'm pretty sure Coco is the same. We respect Vince and thank him for what he's done to wrestling, making it mainstream. But, you know, I think he's actually a really horrible human being. I think he's a racist prick. I think he's a cunt. I don't use that word often, but I did now. He's a cunt. I think he's killing what I love. He makes me embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. He makes wrestling a dirty word. You know, sports entertainment, no one knows what that is. If you say to someone down the road, what's sports entertainment, they'll think I'm a fucking whack job. Like, no, there's no name value for sports entertainment. You know, wrestling has name value. If you say, what's pro wrestling, you'll say, oh, that's the WWE. This is a legit quote. That's that WWE shit. Because that's the mentality. it's shit because it's such a soap opera. What, like, I know I like the fact that they distance themselves from wrestling, so that, you know, if I can talk to someone, hey, do you watch pro wrestling? Yes, I watch the New Japan, I watch Ring of Honor, you know, I watch the Indies. Rev Pro I'm going to next Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that in Portsmouth Guildhall. It's going to be great. Oh, Timothy Thatcher versus Zack Sabre Jr. next Wednesday. Holy mother of Jody, I'm fucking pumped. Owens does look like a pro athlete, but only in a hot dog eating contest. Oh, that was a cracking joke. That was a cracking little joke there. Crazy J Ray. That was brilliant. Who would win in a hot dog eating contest? Owens, Big Show, or Bray Wyatt? But then see, Big Show he's actually, you know, for a guy 7 foot tall, he's actually leaned out compared to, I mean, 06, I was actually worried about his weight, but he's got in okay shape. Bray Wyatt, he just looks like that's his, you know, I think Owens would win. Low key shouts TNA. Low key, you're a fan of TNA, aren't you? You really are. I need to watch Impact this week. What did you think of TNA this week? Haven't watched it. Do you like the Legend Killer Orton or the Viper Randy Orton? I love Randy Orton more than a straight man should. And just putting out there, I don't give a fuck what it is. FD puts, you think that once Angle bids farewell to TNA after his farewell tour, you feel that TNA will lack any aura from the old legends? I think that could be a good thing. Like, in my opinion, if I was to have my own wrestling promotion, you know, I'd have it all young talent, all, you know, hot prospects. I would have legends come in. I think Coco's talked about this a few times on the show. I'd have them put those guys over because they're going to be the guys who are there the next week and the week after and the week after. These legends aren't. And, you know, the legends are already established. They can put, Kurt Angle could have gone in there. He could have put Samoa Joe over at the start. He could have put AJ over at the start. I think he did at one point. But, you know, he could have just gone over and over and over. And it's Kurt Angle. You still look at him as a threat, you know, to the championship scene. You know, every now and then give him a win, but he doesn't need to win. Same as John Cena. John Cena never needs to win ever again. Ever. You know, he's just over. Oh, I don't know. I just don't understand it. Titus should quit and stand up so other wrestlers can. Yeah, one guy needs to take the bullet, but he's not that one. Who do you think turns heel on SmackDown today, AJ or Y2J? Oh, that's a tough one. I think it must be Jericho. I think it must be Jericho. Just Raymond Stanley puts, I'm watching live as you speak. Cool. Enjoy SmackDown. Thomas Servosky, Randy Orton will always be in the shadow of his father's cast. But, you know, his father's cast was great. But his father's cast, if you built a cast from the ground up, you get Bob Orton Sr.'s cast. Make that Bob Orton Jr. I mucked up. Who fucked up? Raymond Stanley puts, what would WWE be like today if Cena didn't make it in 2002? I don't know. I think they would have just, where they pushed Cena, they would have just promoted Batista and Orton just doubly as much. How would you start a new era in WWE? I don't know. Like, you've got such a great talent of roster. They didn't like intentionally start a new era. It just, the transition just always seems to come. And that's one thing that I love about pro wrestling, is that you don't know when the next era is going to come. Like, I say we're in the reality era right now, which is where, you know, most of the fans, or pretty much all the fans, know it's work. They know how it works. They know everything. Sometimes it's to a fault. And, you know, and so I think, you know, it's the reality era. I kind of like it, but I wish they went more of a sporty way, like SmackDown. If it was always like SmackDown, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more, because I do love the sport aspect of the sport, because to me it's a sport. Like, to lots of people it doesn't, and even though it is choreographed, two guys fake fighting, it's a sport. You know, they're fighting for that spot. Like, the better match they have, the better up the card they're going to be. The better they connect with the crowd, the better up the card they're going to be. And the better up the card you are, the more money you will make. So it is kind of like a sport mentality that the wrestlers have. But I don't know how I'd start it. I would just book it like it's a good fucking show. Raw, book like sports entertainment, okay? Book it. You know, fuck it. You are sports entertainment. There's no reason why it can't be like Lucha Underground. There's no reason at all. Lucha Underground is compelling storylines. It's great wrestling, and you enjoy it. You sit there and you're like, oh, fuck, it's already been an hour. Shit. When you watch WWE, you'll sit there, oh, hour 1, done. Thank God. Hour 2, done. Thank God. Hour number 3, oh my God, please don't let me sit through. And then you got the main event with the 50-minute overtime. You're there like, oh my God, I want to die. I can't. You literally sat there thinking, I'm in the worst place in the world and not even being paid. Like, at work, you're like, yeah, at least I'm getting paid. But there, you're like, oh, I'm in the worst, watching the worst thing. Oh, awful. Crazy Jerry put OVW or Deep South Wrestling. I don't know, because, like, you got to remember, I'm 19, so Deep South Wrestling's a bit far back. But, I mean, OVW right now, I've seen a few of their Saturday night special gimmicks. And I remember when it was TNA's developmental, I checked out. I was a fan of Jay Bradley at the time, and now he's that Aiden O'Shea cat, if I'm right. I'm not really sure about that, but that's what I think. But I mean, Batista, Cena, Shelton, Benjamin, Brock Lesnar, you can't really deny, the class that they had. So it's definitely a great school. I don't know what you meant by, you just left me the question. I didn't know what that I'm meant to answer. What we got? Bruh, can you talk about me? Dude, like, I'm going to be honest here. We got this guy. Yeah, I'm not going to diss you. But he's called WWK Wrestling Federation. He puts, "Can you talk about me?" Like, bro, just ask a question. I'm going to read your name out. Like, bro, it's that simple. Jesus Christ. Here you are. You asked a question. Good job. Do you think AJ Styles is a savage? Oh, dude. New Japan, ROH, or WWE? If I was going to go in a list, pro wrestling wise, I'd go Ring of Honor, slightly behind New Japan, then WWE below. Rumours puts Triple H or HBK in the prime. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. In prime, it depends. I was a huge Triple H mark, like a really big Triple H mark. I think he's one of the greatest of all times. Genuinely is one of the greatest of all time. Really good tactician in the ring. Great psychology, great storytelling. I'm a big Triple H fan. But Shawn Michaels, arguably one of the greatest sports entertainers of all time. Great athlete. It's tough. It's tough. Why wasn't HBK versus Triple H the best feud in the Ruthless Aggression? It was a good feud. The issue is they just kept going back to it again and again. Like, SummerSlam 2002, the man comes back, okay? That's Shawn Michaels after you guys obviously know, well, if newer fans who don't know that stuff back there, go watch it on the network. You'll be fucking mind-boggled. So Shawn Michaels, after WrestleMania 14, 1998, he went out of a back injury. 2002, after 4 years, he came back to face Triple H in a street fight. They have one heck of a match. After the match, Triple H takes him out with the sledgehammer. Shawn Michaels taken out on a stretcher. Nice to see you. Catch your ass down the line. Survivor Series 2002, Triple H defends his World Heavyweight Championship in an Elimination Chamber match against Rob Van Dam, Booker T, Kane, Chris Jericho, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. It's sad that I know this. I need to get a life. I have a life. That's a scary thing. I actually have a life. That's what scares me. So then Shawn Michaels wins the title. Madison Square Garden, great moment. Then Armageddon 2002, they had the 3 stages of Hell match where Triple H defeated Shawn Michaels to recapture the World Heavyweight Championship at the time, which was the Raw exclusive title. And then Michaels went on to feud with Jericho at Mania. H went on to feud with Scott Steiner at Rumble on No Way Out 03. That was poor. And then Booker T at Mania. And then they didn't really cross paths until the Royal Rumble 2004, where it was Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in a last man standing match. Both men were bloody to the point where neither man could answer the count of 10. Rematch, Benoit won the 2004 Royal Rumble, led on to Triple H versus Chris Benoit versus Triple H for the world title at WrestleMania 20. Great match, great moment. I love Benoit winning the World Heavyweight Championship more than anything in the world. The man deserved it. 18 years of busting his rear end. And I mean busting it. Jesus H. Christ on a popsicle stick. He busted his damn rear end off. Fucking great work. One of the greatest of all time. The human being is a stupid arsehole, but the fucking professional wrestler is out of this damn world. And then at Backlash 04 as well, they did HBK, Benoit again, the rematch. And then it kind of just went off. And then at Blood 04, they did the rematch in the cell. It was just a storyline just kept going on and on and on. And it was just a go-to. It was such a good storyline. It always made sense. And then obviously they reformed DX and then it just kind of lost its way from there. I'll tell you what, that could have been I should definitely do some historical shows, like from the Ruthless Aggression era, because my memory for that shit is top drawer. I just named you the whole Triple H versus Shawn Michaels pay-per-view for pay-per-view from 2002 to 2004. Damn it to Christ. FD puts, have you seen Daniel Bryan's interview on Sports Center? No, I didn't watch it, but I heard about the seizure gimmicks, like really nasty stuff. Do you think WWE will ever turn TV 14? I don't think they need to. Like, you can be edgy at PG. I mean, if you go back and watch some of the stuff on the network, on the Attitude Era especially, there's some dodgy stuff on there. It's still PG. It is PG. You can push PG as much as you can. You just got to push. But again, like I talked about earlier, that, the public shareholders, and they don't want that. Raymond Stanley, why do black chicks have the biggest ass? I don't know. I don't know. Thomas Servosky, Pushberry Fire, Ric Flair's lisp, Jake Roberts' skullet, and Shawn Michaels' stray eye. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll fire Ric Flair's lisp. Like, I can't listen to his podcast because his lisp, like, he makes this weird clicking noise, and it's kind of weird. Push Jake Roberts' skullet and fire Michael's stray eye. Jesus Christ. Absolutely incredible. Make sure you keep the live comments coming before I touch on the last few stories here on PW News. I'm having a good time. This has definitely cheered me up. I needed this. I wasn't depressed or miserable. It's just, when you have those days where like you think work's got you down and out for the count, and then you kick out. And this is the kick out. It was an insane near fall. 4 likes, 1 dislike. The 1 dislike was before, and I think it was because I took so damn long starting a live thing. And I do apologize if you sat there waiting for about 20 minutes, because what happened was the internet was getting a bit weird. So I thought, I'm going to stop it and then just see if it works. And then it worked. So I stopped and restarted the whole rotor. Let's go back to live comments. Oh, damn, we got a lot. Push brief fire. So we are. Do you agree that SmackDown is better than Raw? That's from Ray Mustani. I haven't seen this week's SmackDown, but it probably will be. Do you like Raw versus SmackDown feud in 2005? Yes, kind of. It felt like a proper invasion gimmick. I'm from the summer of 2005 to the Survivor Series 05, and they did a great job of getting Randy on over at that pay-per-view, and then you had the Undertaker returning. It was a great moment. I really did that. This is from Raymond Stanley. Did they do good that they put Galloway over Angle? Sorry for spoilers. I don't know. I can't comment. Won't watch it. I haven't watched it. Sorry. I will watch it, and I can't say much yet. But me and Coco are in the midst of working on something that will allow me to do TNA reviews. But I'm not gonna say much because it's just at the start of the phase at the moment. I don't want to give anything. That was a non-spoiler little teaser there. 5 people watching from Luis Carrillo. Okay, that's cool. By the way, I can see how many people, like right now there's 7 viewers. I can actually see that. You don't need to put that in there. Crazy J Ray puts, I didn't like ECW that much. Too much hardcore matches over and over again kills it for me. Yeah, if it's special, like I said, that the Michaels HBK at Rumble 04 was special because it was a long-term feud with a big payoff. FD puts, you think that New Beginning will mark a new era in New Japan post Nakamura? I will talk about that on Saturday when I do my New Japan New Beginning review. And I haven't watched it yet. I haven't got my mind around to watching it because it's been work. Has just been fucking me in the ass. Raymond saying, if Benoit hadn't done what he did, would WWE be better today? That's a good question. I think someone asked this yesterday on the show. I think it might have been you, Ray Mustani, but we just touched on it because we just got so overwhelmed by the comments yesterday. And thank you so much, by the way, for leaving live comments. It's the bread and butter of the show. If in doubt, go to live comments, and we do appreciate every one of you who do watch it and leave a comment. But I don't think Benoit, if Benoit was still alive right now, I think he would be an agent. I don't know. It upsets me because Benoit was my favorite as a kid. It just upsets me. Should the third hour be TV14? No, it should just be all PG, and they can just push it as much. They could say bitch, they can say dick, they can say whatever they want. They just, right now, after this show, type in TV PG guidelines. There's so far you can push. There really is far you can push. Who would win in the arm wrestling challenge? Russo or Cornette? Cornette, would smash him with the tennis racket. Ray Mustani, is Triple H better as a face or a heel? Oh, I thought it was a great heel. You love to hate the man. Really top drawer, but he's a good face as well. Name your top five faces and heels of all time. That's Ray Mustani. I'll save that. I'm going to write that down for the STI. That's a stump the idiot. And a gimmick, fave 5 faces and fave 5 heels. So that'll be a show by itself, because that's a show I'll kind of do when I don't feel like watching a wrestling show. So I'll just dump that on. What do you believe in after death? That's a great question. That is a great. I don't know. Like, I don't think much. I'm 19 years old, so obviously I don't really think I'm going to die very soon. I don't know. Part of me thinks that you can be. I think you can be a ghost and a spirit, but then I don't know. That's a really tough question. That could be a stump the idiot, but I don't think it's worthy of KocoSports and Pro.me. OVW Deep South Wrestling, when WWE did drop OVW for Deep South, I didn't realize they did that. I thought they were OVW, then they went to Florida Championship Wrestling. That's what I thought they did. I'm not sure. How would you have saved WCW? Again, something I'm working on at the minute with Coco. I can't really tease it much, but that's the cut. If you enjoy that show, that kind of podcast, you're going to fucking adore this. You're going to adore what we're going to announce, because that's, okay, yeah, I can't really tease much because it's not confirmed. Nothing's confirmed. I can't really say much. Ass or tits? Ass, 110%. Seth Alpha Rollins, 387 days and Roman still isn't over. But you're going to be counting that for a long damn time. You better get your, number fucking thing, because the guys, unless he turns heel, I don't see him getting over at all. This is from FD. Do you think... Oh, Jesus Christ, I hate it when you read something, then you just mind fuck, really bad. Do you think with how Dean Ambrose being brave enough when facing Brock Lesnar, do you see him more as a top star competitor? I liked how they're booking him, like they're actually protecting Dean Ambrose. They're actually protecting him. I was flabbergasted, because I wasn't on the Monday Night Raw review because I was working that Monday overnight, which doesn't usually happen. I do apologize about that. Okay, so I was when I got back, I was like, you know what? I need to watch Raw because I don't like spoilers and I'd have been spoiled. So I was just like, yeah, what am I going to do? Okay, so I had a look and I skipped. I watched that segment because I want to see how they're going to build to the triple threat at Fastlane for the number one contender for the title at Mania. And I was pleasantly surprised how they protected Ambrose. I really think that was a well-done segment. They didn't make Lesnar look weak because obviously he only got low blowed. You know, I think it did a good job. By the way, you have checked out the link I posted to you a few days ago. Your thoughts on that? Yeah, it was the Malaysian wrestling gimmick, if I'm right. If I saw it and there was no website, like I was on the Facebook page, I was trying to click a website. From what I saw, it looked okay. It looked pretty damn good. It looked professional. I was really shocked at the production. But I was looking for a website that I could go to so I could maybe watch a show. So again, if you send me or DM me, I'm following you now on Twitter, you're following me, just send me a direct message on the Twitter machine with a link to a show. And because of what's might be coming, I probably review that for you. Rim Stanley, how would you have booked Steiner in WWE? Not done what they did, and I don't know, maybe I would have hired him because his run stunk. Who do you think is the biggest potential to be a household name, Roman, Ambrose, or Owens? I think Ambrose. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest Dean Ambrose fan at all, but I respect when a guy can connect to the crowd, and he's connected. He's really connected. He's got that really, you know, that young female audience behind him, and I think that's a good audience to have. He's got the parents behind him. You know, males, you know, the lunatic fringe. They booked him like a lunatic this week, which is fucking good. I was there like, that's it, my son. That's it, my son. Come on. Yes, they booked him like a lunatic. Good job, whoever wrote this week's Raw for that. Don't fucking think I'm fucking giving you praises for Monday Night Raw. No, you don't. Is Stein Hall of Fame worthy? Of course. Of course. FD says, sure, he'll send the link. So we're going to give one more refresh on the live comments. And then after that, oh shit, we still haven't talked about the fucking quarters. Jesus H. Christ on a popsicle stick. Right, so the fourth quarters and year end of 2015, okay? So that's from October, November, December, okay? So the WWE Network subscriber count, okay? So before the third quarter, so you had from September, August, and July. It was at 1.233 million, okay? That's how many subscribers. Remember that, 1.233 million. So at the end of December, start of January, we're at 1.217 million. So we're down about 18,000 subscribers. It's the WWE Network is down 18,000. They lost subscribers when they're giving out free pay-per-views. One of the pay-per-views included the 25th anniversary of the Phenom, the Dead Man. It's mind-boggling. All the classical content that they don't promote. These original shows like Steve Austin's podcast, like, you know, there's so much on there, like Breaking Ground, like so many great original series. And they're losing subs. It's mind-boggling. They've gone in more countries. They're now in Japan. They're now in more and more countries. But they're losing subscribers because the pay-per-views suck. And that's that's the deal. That's the gimmick. You pay $9.99 so you don't have to pay $50 for the pay-per-view. I pay $9.99 because I want the pay-per-view and I want NXT, and then I want all the classical content because what's coming up could be very, very good and very handy. But I love it. I love the network, but obviously lots of people don't. And if the WWE's been sucking, which it has, you know, Raw viewership figures have been down, which means people don't know about the network. Like if in the end of the day, if ratings are down, they're not going to know about the network. It's not this like I don't see in the UK, I'd never see a WWE advert. I've never seen a WWE Network advert ever run on a TV. Not once on a non-WWE show. I've never, ever seen it. Ever. I've never seen wrestling promoted outside of a WWE show in the UK ever. And it's sad, but it is. But, you know, like that's what I said at the start. I kind of feel bad, but I kind of feel happy because, you know, in the end, WWE has been shit. Punishment. Here it is. Karma's biting you in the ass, Vince, you old fucking toilet. Jesus. Here we go. Salute Underground. Season 2, Episode 3. So the highest rated so far is about 130,000 viewers for the original airing, the first airing. This week we're at 136,000, which is the highest in the second season so far. This is great. This is a fundamental basis that we can now build upon. Let's make that 136. Let's build every single week till we hit that. Once we hit that 100, as a television company and as a wrestling company, combine that, you get fucking Lucha Underground. I would be trying to build and just build every week. Just make sure it goes up as long as we keep going up, because TNA took a massive hit in the ratings. okay, last week. And I'm not going to report on that because I'm just going to get dislike after dislike. But, you know, as a company, they're starting here. You 1 through 6,000, you know, on the fucking El Rey network. That's pretty damn impressive. Let's start building upon that. Let's build. And I'm fucking right. I'm rooting for them. I'm really rooting for them. I'm really keen on the Reigns. That's why I report on it. Jesus, damn Christ. Absolutely incredible. I need to stop saying Jesus. Like, I'm going to get punished for this. And I do apologize, Lord. I respect you. I love you. Big G upstairs. Look after yourself, my son. Fuck's sake. Now I got a live comments. After this live comments, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. Yeah, Stump the Idiot, Fave 5 Faces, and Fave 5 Heels. Boom Boom, if you're awake, do you want to review SmackDown? That's from Boom Booms. You son of a bitch, Booms. No, I haven't watched the show, my son. Do apologize, Booms. Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, you mobile phone son of a bitch. So I load my live comments on my phone, because otherwise it lags everything up on the computer, and I don't want that lagging up. Right, so where were we comment-wise? Here we go. WWE only used Deep South Wrestling before they used FCW, but not for long. What was the point of that Vince death story? I know. So you don't know though, because you don't know where the storyline was going. Because Vince got blown up, but then Vince died like the week after. So Vince had to break out of character, say, "Look, I'm still alive." That was part of the that was part of a story, and it never got looked back upon. Because obviously WWE can't do a storyline about death when one of their wrestlers just died. Okay. Do you see the social outcast as Job Squad 2.0? Sadly, yes, but I don't want it to be. 18,000 subscribers lost on the WWE network. That's not a good sign. That isn't. It really isn't. That's ridiculous. It's insane. And if you don't believe me, go read the sources. W network is going to fail. That's from Rumours. It's not going to fail if they put good pay-per-views on. Like, if they put good pay-per-view after good pay-per-view, people will be like, I'm going to subscribe because I enjoy the pay-per-views. No matter how shitty Raw is, I'm still going to pay for the pay-per-views. And I'm going to pay for the classical content. They don't promote that class. If you said you can watch every single pay-per-view from the Attitude Era, from Ruthless Aggression Era, from the PG Era, you know, from the WrestleMania Golden Era, I'm going to subscribe no matter what. Like, come on. I think the WWE network, to be more innovative, yeah. I got the WWE network the first hour it came out. That's from Crazy J-Ray. Yeah, I got the network when it came out in the UK in January last year. By the way, WWE network is available here in Malaysia, included in my cable TV subscription package, which may contribute to the drop of subscribers, I suppose. No, why? Oh yeah, it's part of the cable TV subscription package, but you know, its subscription's lost, so you actually have to sign up. That means people. The reason the subscription lost is because people are just not paying for it. They're cutting it out. They're saying, "Look, I'm not paying $9.99 for your shit," and they're not paying. It's not that, you know, it's part of that. It's part of that. There's only one reason for the reason why the subscription's gone down. They're available in more countries, which means they should have just gone up more, even if it's just a little bit, but they haven't. People have unsubscribed. It's not that, you know, they're growing a little bit. People have been unsubscribing. Like, that's never a good thing for anything. Like us, like even on this channel, people are unsubscribing, like, oh, fuck, what have we done wrong? Most of the time it's just talking about TNA. Raymond Stanley, is WWE really making more money now than in the Attitude Era? I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question. That's another Stump the Idiot. Raymond Stanley's coming up with Stump the Idiots left, right, center. Is WWE making more money now than in Attitude Era? That could be a good show. I'll do some research on that. That could be really interesting, and that's something I want to know. Tommy Giovati, love the show. Keep up the great job. You are like the Intercontinental Champ of KocoSports, the workhorse. Thank you for the kind words. That's very kind of you. Yeah. I do love doing these shows, and obviously it's a bit different. You know, Coco's got, you know, children. I don't have children. I just have my job. That's about it. He's got like 16,000 jobs. There's a lot of difference. So yeah, but thanks for the kind words, and I'll keep the shows coming as long as you keep watching them. Raymond Stanley, that's why the pay-per-views are decent and Raw is shit. Yeah, but in the end of the day, Raw sucks. If Raw was better, more people would buy the pay-per-views. It's simple as that. It really is. It's not like, I'm not asking to be a brain cell, it's just common sense. FD puts, if you can pitch any idea to make WWE Network attract subscribers, what would you do? Okay, so if I'm doing this, okay, I'm getting national TV adverts this is going to cost you a bit of money, okay, but you're going to get a good payout. Over here in England, like I mentioned earlier, I've never seen a WWE Network advert ever. I'd pay to have the adverts placed, say, look, you get over 24,000 hours of classical content, including matches featuring clip of Stone Cold versus The Rock, Brock versus The Rock, Triple H versus The Rock, Triple H versus Stone Cold, Undertaker versus Kane. Put monumental figures on the screen, flashing in front of you. WrestleMania moments like Michael saying, I love you, to Ric Flair's super kick. Moments. Hogan slamming Andre, okay? Just imagine that. That's not going to cost you anything to make because you've already got the library. but it's going to cost you to obviously dispatch it. I'll get it dispatched all over the world, all the same advert all over the world. Okay, so it's not going to cost you anything to make it, and watch that number go up because people are going to subscribe for the classical content. And even if and then at the end, you can say, look, this also includes 12 live pay-per-views, 4 live NXT TakeOver specials, NXT every single Wednesday, original programming, including, you got Total Divas is added on there. You got the Road Gimmick, you got Breaking Ground, you got podcasts on there. You got the Legends with JBL, you got documentaries on there. You could just go on and on. Like, this is free advertisement right now. They could pay me if they wanted to, but I'm not doing it because I'm not a corporate shill. That being said, I digress. It's so simple to just promote it. WWE can't do it anymore. They're in the business of presenting instead of promoting, and the proof is in the pudding because they're not promoting it anymore. Like, the fuss is all done. Like, when have you legitimately seen a WWE Network advert that's not on WWE programming? It's the only company in the world that thinks they're better than advertising. They don't think they need to advertise. Everyone needs to advertise, as simple as that. Like football, soccer, golf, fishing, tennis, they all advertise. Darts, snooker. All sports advertise. Simple as that. You see Lucha Underground adverts, okay? Because they promote. You even see Impact adverts, for crying out loud. Jesus, when Impact do something or you don't, there you are. There's your TNA fanboys. There's your little plug. Enjoy that one while it lasts. Jesus, absolute insanity. It grinds my gears and really frustrates me how idiotic WWE is sometimes. And, people, like, I try not to bash the talent as little as possible because they are, risking their lives, but sometimes the talent need to step up. Which wrestler would you want to be your dad? That's a great question. Rey Mysterio putting out all the stocks tonight with these questions. I think Cheesecake. Like, I bet he's really intense, but you'd know your fucking rules. Do you feel weird that Raws that lead up to pay-per-views are 90% of time poop, while the pay-per-views themselves most of the time decent? Yeah, you come to expect that now when you watch it, FD. You come to expect it. He also puts any potential AJ Styles will be in the World Heavyweight Championship race in the near future. Fingers crossed, but I haven't read about it at all. How much revenue do TNA make and how much are they in debt? They're run by Dixie Carter's parents and Panda Energy, if I'm still right. And Pop TV give them a good deal of money. Then why don't they promote? Because they're morons and they think they're above it. Should WWE put their movies WWE makes on their network? Yeah, that's another great idea. It'll cost them nothing. It costs them nothing to do that. It costs them nothing. It's the expense of time. They are lazy. If you put that on there, you can now get a different kind of watch. Look, if you pay $9.99, not only do you get these live pay-per-views, this original content, you get movies. You get The Condemned, you get Knucklehead, you get all these movies that WWE have produced. Then you get the movies. It's simple as that. FD puts, all right then, thanks for this awesome time, my friend. I'll find any videos of Malaysian Pro Wrestling promotions ASAP on your Twitter DM. Take care and have a great one. Thank you very much. Would you anal fuck? See, that's one thing about these Rey Mysterio is anal fuck. Like, I don't get why you'd want to fuck the ass. Like, I'm an ass guy, but why you'd want to fuck an ass is like, what's the point? You got posted there that you can fuck. And I digress. That's going to be it. Thank you for the live comments. We always have to end on a porn question. Jesus hates Christ on a popsicle stick. I need to stop saying that. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry, Jesus. I'm sorry, God. I'm saying that on air, so please don't punish me. And that's all in all honesty. I do apologize. I shouldn't have used those critical and cynical terms. That being said, check out ProWrestling.me. Check out KocoSports. Now that's KOCO Sports. Now that's where World goes Kikashi over Combat Sports. And above all, we're so okay to be a passionate fan. Thank you all live listeners for joining into the show. Thank you for listening to this on video on demand. Thank you very much on the YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, ProWrestling.me. That being said, stay safe, stay well. Have a great Friday. This has been your boy LK, and I'll catch your asses down the line.